All right, thank you. Balance, a night to remember, brings together music lovers, dancers, and supporters of the arts for a vibrant evening honoring John Waddell's legacy. Joining us with a preview is Owen Rosansky. He's the president of the John Waddell Foundation. Owen, thanks for being with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of the event that you guys have coming up on Saturday, tell us about John Waddell for people who may not know who he is.
So John, or he went by Jack, he was nothing short of an amazing man. He had a career that spanned from across the U.S. to Europe. He was in the opera circuit in Europe, and he traveled through Paris, Rome, Italy, everywhere. He was one of the first African-American men to attend Wesleyan, and he went on scholarship. And that's really what set up his whole career. So he's an amazing man.
Absolutely. And Jack, you have a personal relationship with Jack, and that factored into you starting the foundation, correct?
Yeah. This is a definite labor of love because he was my mentor as well as a good friend. And before he passed, he wanted to see to it that he could be able to give back to the community and be able to continue his hand in getting people into theater arts and just the excitement behind it.
Absolutely. And people have a way to honor Jack's legacy as well with an event coming up this weekend. Tell us about it.
So, the night to remember, it's the second one. We had the first, now we got the second. So it's going to be the same setup. We're going to have the live jazz orchestra, the Heartland Jazz Orchestra, cash bar. You're going to have food included. The difference is we have the ticket prices down to $10 for just dancers. So if you come to dance and you want to dance, it is only $10, and then there is a free dance class before.
Wow.
And hence on the cash bar. I know sometimes it helps a little bit.
For sure, and people can learn how to swing dance, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So West Coast Swing of Bloomington, they're going to be coming in and doing a hour-long session from 6 to 7, and then from 7 to 9 is going to be the main event.
That's right, and you guys are having some dinner and also some dancing under the stars, so to speak, right?
Yes. So there's going to be a lot of mood lighting. It's going to be a nice event.
Absolutely. Tell us why this foundation is important to when it comes to barriers, because I know that Jack faced some barriers in his life as well.
Yeah, of course. Being African American, Jack, especially at the time that he was coming through with his career, he was originally told that he couldn't make a career in the U.S. So he said, "Screw that! I'm going to go on to Europe and try it there." Well, he made an amazing splash there. He was in multiple TV shows, multiple movies. He had his own variety TV show called The Charles Waddell Show. And then he just continued to break glass ceilings for especially African American men. Yeah. And that's where he also met Donna Summers. And long story short, he ended up becoming Donna Summers' daughter's godfather.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for being with us, Owen.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Well, if you or someone you know would like to join us on In the Know, head to 25newsnow.com/community. You can follow the features tab to the In the Know and submit the form. We will also have this interview on our website, 25newsnow.com.